So 4 years ago, there was no ePaństwo Foundation. Also 4 years ago, I didn't know my partner Daniel, but there was one thing 4 years ago. That was an early version of a website called Sejmometr. Back then, the official website of the Polish Parliament was reminding us of what, the hardcore distribution of Linux should look like. And if you wanted to look for anything there, you actually needed to use console rather than any graphic interface. So back then, Sejmometr had all the features of the very classic parliamentary monitoring website. You could follow members of parliament, you could see how they vote, you could see what they say, what questions they ask to various government institutions. You could also track legislative process and browse through some of the legal acts which we have here in Poland. Soon, it started to attract more and more viewers because we were adding more and more data sets, and it actually became quite well known to various members of parliament, journalists, and activists here in Poland. So if we think about how we actually made it happen, there are two key factors of this success. The first one was that we actually managed to write as automated scrapers of data as possible. We've had public data, but the quality was not good. So we didn't have to hire 20 people to manually process all of this. We actually were able to do it in 1% and a third in the beginning. And then we were slowly adding more people to the team. The second thing, which was the second key factor of the success, was actually that Sejmometr, although it was serving data which can be used in the political context, there was no political agenda there. And I have to tell you that I still remember the first wave of comments, of emails we were receiving from the people who were visiting the website, and they were thanking us that we are providing a source of information which just gives them data. We were not telling them what and how to think. And so we started to expand even more. In 2012, we added more data sets, court rulings, local factors, tons of local data. And a couple months back, we added procurement data, public tenders, even EU donations. And this all sums up to this nice number of 18 terabytes of open data we are currently storing on our servers, 18 terabytes. But the most important thing is that, well, that the PowerPoint doesn't work, but is it okay? Okay, it's working, thanks. But the most important thing is that we have managed to take the statistics of Sejmometr to 150,000 unique people visiting this website a month. That's relatively more than, for example, Open Congress in the United States. But once we've climbed this mountain, after continued growth for over 2.5 years, we got stuck. We simply got stuck. We thought, and we were really unhappy, that we have reached the maximum of what a parliamentary monitoring website can attract. We started to change designs, we started to do A/B testing, and it didn't work. So we started to ask ourselves, where's the problem? Is it us, or is it something else? And the other factor which is very important here, although 150,000 people visiting this website a month is a nice number, it is not 38 million people, because this is the population of Poland. And we, as an organization, we do not only target activists, government workers, journalists, we are very much focused about actually reaching every single person here in Poland. That is our great obsession. I have to be honest about it. And why is that? Because I would like to give you an example of three different pieces of data. 292, that in 2012 was the average cost of can of a beer in Poland. I have to tell you that during the crisis in 2009, it actually went up by 50 groszy. The second piece of data is 12,911. That's the number of deers which were killed in Zachodnio-Pomorskie region in Poland. And the third one, 139, that's the number of people who got divorced in Poland in 2012. And they claimed, they did that because of lack of sex. That's what they put in the official statement. 139 people. I'm happy to report that this factor is actually going down over years. So we are actually quite satisfied people here. No, exactly. This data has no meaning to me. This data has no meaning to me. But I am sure that there is at least one person in this country for whom this is really important. Well, with the Bureau, I'm pretty sure it's more than one. But so if you can't come up with a way, is there a movie showing right now? Yes. So if you can't come up with a way to satisfy everybody, what do you do? What do you do if you can't satisfy everybody? You build a tool which will allow everybody to configure it their way, that their personal way of accessing democracy, they will be able to do it the way they want it. We sat down and we asked ourselves, what is my country? What it really means to every single of us. And I would like to give you an example, and that's the movie. So this is actually me walking this morning at 6:15 to the metro station, and this is my country. There is a new building being built just in front of my house, and I'm really curious, why is it being built there? Who actually allowed it to be built there? What's it going to be? What kind of spaces there is going to be? Also, here, I'm really curious if I'm going to make it to my metro station, and whether the road is cleaned or not, and who is responsible for all those things. And this is where actually my country begins for me. When I leave my home and I lock the door, I start to go through various things, and this is basically my country. But I have to be, again, honest with you. There is one more very important factor to me when it comes to my country, 2-2. That's the result of the Lech Poznań football game, which happened on Saturday. That is also part of my country. So if you think about weather, if you think about football results, if you think about building permits, local government, it's all data. It's publicly available, and we all have it. So when we go forward, for us, it is not a problem of having more data. We have 18 terabytes. That's a lot, and that's, I would say, enough, although we still continue to get more. This is the problem of actually having people use this data and personalize it. So by building our next platform, My Country, Moje Państwo in Polish, we want to combine the power of technology, data, and people's needs together. Yesterday, Julia Keseru from Silent Foundation was telling us about the utopia of transparency movement. I will ask you to use your imagination today, but we don't have to go so far as to utopia. So imagine a system which can tell you who represents you in your parliament, in your local government, or your local community, just by the place you're standing. You can check the local building permissions, also thanks to the geolocation. You can immediately call those people who are responsible or browse their actions. Imagine a system that if you search for deers or beer, it will scan through all data, central, local, tweets of politicians, tweets of all those who are responsible for it, and you will get a fast answer, or you will be notified if there is something new. And the last puzzle of imagination is that imagine a system which will basically utilize the power of desktop, tablet, and mobile brought all together, and the system will be adapting to the situation where you are. You will be able to track what is important to you. You will be able to personalize the way you are building and accessing your country. What is important to you? Whether it's how the Prime Minister acts, or whether it's the football results, or whether it's your local mayor, or whatever you can imagine. If you are interested in the deers, you will be able to build the platform all around it. Because I'm pretty sure that there is a couple hundred hunters in Poland for whom this is really important. And we are doing all of this because what the experience of Sejmometr have told us and taught us is that informed people act. And we want to go after this gigantic demand of open data, this super long tail. Sejmometr was one part. That was Sejm's data, that was court rulings, but what about others? Not only Sejm, not only, as I mentioned, court rulings, we have it. We have found the people who want it, and those people who needed it, they also found us. But the thing is that even those who say that they don't care about politics, they actually care about their way from home to the metro station. And before you actually start to complain about the central government, about the prime minister, there are other steps which you can take. For example, who do I call when this snowstorm happen? How do I get this pathway cleaned? So this is my country. This is my country. And I have to say that a week ago, 4 years of great run of Sejmometr, this platform was shut down. Sejmometr is no longer active. It was relaunched as My Country, Moje Państwo, and it's currently in very early alpha status. Sejmometr is part of this system. You still can browse through, but you are able to begin your journey by providing your zip code, by going into this and by building the platform which allows, and to get people more engaged, and that's a subject for another topic. We have done an extreme research when it comes to gamification and building up game-based approach to it to get people even more engaged. So even if you start your journey with only looking for some local data, we will try to get you more engaged in other parts. So if you go to mojepaństwo.pl, Moje Państwo, My Country, you will be able to see the alpha version, which currently looks like this. It has a powerful API to it. You can build apps on it, and this is how the Code for Poland runs on top of it. And we are going to get out of alpha into beta by the end of this year. So I'm really happy that I can already tell you that during the next PDF in 2015, I'll be able to actually make a great demo of this system, how it really works, and tell you how is it spreading through Poland. Thank you.